So you're wondering whether you should insource or outsource your content marketing, huh?
I don't know what to do, don't know what to do.
Well, hey, it's a common dilemma, but fear not. I've got the lowdown for you right here. We're gonna talk about what it means to both insource and outsource your content marketing, and what some pros and cons are for both options.
Oh, thank goodness!
Insourcing means keeping your content in-house, relying on your internal team to handle all the writing, designing, and strategizing. On the other hand, outsourcing means bringing in external experts or agencies to take care of your content needs. So which path should you choose? Let's dive in and find out. Let's talk about the benefits of outsourcing your content marketing. First, you have a ton of options to choose from. When you outsource your content marketing, you gain access to specialized expertise. Content agencies or freelancers bring a fresh perspective and content knowledge that can take your game to the next level. With all the options out there, you will almost always be able to find someone to work with. If you decide to go with an agency over a freelancer, you can also scale your output since they have multiple writers on their staff. And let's not forget about the time and effort you save by delegating content marketing to the pros. They've been around the block and they can get you your content pretty quickly.
Wow, that was fast!
Generally, you get articles on a predetermined retainer, so you already know what number output you'll get for the month. All this hands-off simplicity gives you more time to focus on other aspects you feel are critical to your business. In the past, when you hired an online agency, you really didn't know who was on the other side or how much experience they had with your industry. As the industry evolves, so too have these outsourcing platforms. They now have matching technology to align content you need with the writers who would be best suited to execute it. Insourcing content has its perks too. With insourcing, you're in control. From ideation to execution, your team knows your brand inside out and can infuse that unique voice and personality into every piece of content. Plus, you can maintain a seamless collaboration with other departments, ensuring alignment and consistency throughout your organization. It's like having your own dedicated content army. Well, yes, insourcing content does require a bigger upfront investment because you gotta hire and onboard a full-time content whiz to handle it all. But hey, having this superstar in charge brings some major perks. With their skills, combined with subject matter experts on your team, you won't have to shell out extra cash for more content. They've got it covered. And here's the best part. If you need to crank up the number of articles to boost your organic traffic and leads, you can simply collaborate directly with your new in-house content hero. No feeling chained by a contract. When you have the cost set up of a full-time content manager, that'll hold steady, so you don't have to worry about the costs being variable, and it ends up giving you greater ROI on each piece of content. When you have this system set up internally, you'll be like my Oklahoma grandma and her farming friends who don't need to rely on others to get things done. You also have more control when it comes to potential changes in cost, tools, staff, etc., and the impact they have. For instance, say your star writer decides to leave your team for their own journey. You already have a system in place to easily hire and onboard a new stud into the existing system. When you're paying an outsider to write your content, they may adjust their pricing based on the variable cost of the tools they use. But when you're in-house, if a tool jacks up their price due to unprecedented times or something like that, you can work with your writer to find cheaper alternatives that work for them. You've got your horse by the reins and it feels amazing. Now this would all be a feel-good video if we stopped there, but here at Impact, we're firm believers in telling nothing but the truth. So let's go over some of the cons for insourcing and outsourcing. We just talked about hiring a stud writer to save you money in the long run, but the truth is, it will be a bit higher of a cost during the period where you're just getting started. One of the biggest investments up front will be the salary of that new content manager. In the good old US of A, the average content marketing manager salary is $71,000 per year. Obviously, this can go up or down depending on experience or location. The other investment is time. If you've ever been part of the hiring process, you know it is not a walk in the park. You have to create the job description, vet candidates, interview, and then find that perfect person.
We found the perfect subject.
And then once you've found the chosen one, you've got the time of 2 to 4 weeks for onboarding before they start really ripping. Let's shine a light on an important part of insourcing content. It's like a key that unlocks success. However, it can be a bit of a challenge to achieve. Here's the deal. Insourcing content requires everyone, from executives to marketing to sales, to be fully on board and aligned with the vision of content as a major growth driver within the organization. It's like getting all hands on deck, sailing towards a shared goal. But hey, let's be real. Getting everyone on the same page? That's not always easy. Many companies struggle with insourcing their content production because there's a lack of understanding about the following questions. What is content marketing? How do we do it effectively? And why should each individual in the company be a part of it? If your team isn't aligned on these key things, you might be headed towards an iceberg of trouble. To overcome these barriers, we've discovered that a content marketing workshop or inbound culture workshop is the crucial first step. It's like gathering your crew for a crash course in the art of sailing the content seas. Through this workshop, you'll create a shared understanding of what content marketing is, how it's done effectively, and why each person's involvement is vital. Those are some of the challenges with insourcing. What about outsourcing? Sure, you may start with a low-ish cost monthly retainer, but beware, the cost can easily get out of hand. Maybe you start with a certain number of blog articles per month, but then you realize you want a social media presence, maybe a newsletter, or you want to redo your website copy, but those aren't covered in your retainer. That's a hefty sum for each edition. Also, the group or person you outsource will need to mark up the costs of their work in order for them to make money. So cost per article or written piece will be a decent amount more. Kind of like how you pay $24.95 to DoorDash your $9 Taco Bell order. Now you may not always think that the average reader is super perceptive, but when they're about to let go of their precious cash, they turn into Sherlock freaking Holmes. They can tell when someone wrote a fluffy article for Google algorithms or if it was written by a real expert. Even with these great new AI tools we have coming out, they can still tell. Sure, you may come across some industry specialized third-party writers who claim to have it all, but let's be real. They often fail to capture the essence of your true knowledge or your unique voice. It's like when that one dude played the role of Michael Jackson on TV.
I sense the danger.
The King of Pop is played by actor Joseph Fiennes, a white guy.
That's just not right. When you rely on a third party to create content, a lot of times you're stuck in the confines of the condition of your contract. Have a quick one-off piece you need for a mass email? Maybe a statement about a new team member. That's gonna cost extra. Dependency is one of the biggest cons of outsourcing. Instead of building the expertise and skills of your internal team, you're investing in the growth and development of people outside of your organization. What happens if that person or agency decides to no longer work with you? You're left high and dry. Content is a huge part of growth, so having it accounted for, it's pretty important. Along with that, if your outsourced party decides to overbook themselves, that could bring their quality down, or maybe they won't even get the work to you at all. We've seen writers no-show to content planning meetings and blatantly miss final delivery deadlines. This risk exists in any form of content production, but it can be more prevalent with someone who's not a part of your company and doesn't feel that ownership. Whew, that's a lot of info for both insourcing and outsourcing. So how do you choose? Well, it depends on your specific circumstances and goals. Here are some questions you can ask yourself to help narrow down what's best for you. How important do you believe content is to the growth of your traffic, leads, and sales? Does your executive team feel the same? Is it worth the time and effort of aligning your entire organization around creating content? How are your current content marketing efforts going? Is growth stagnant or steady? Do you already have someone on your team who could own managing the content production process? Do you see content as a short-term or a long-term play? And have you failed with content marketing in the past? These questions will help you get started with a discussion in your team of what might work best for you. Here at Impact, we're big advocates for insourcing your content, and for good reason. Over the years, we've helped hundreds of clients of all types produce content through both insourcing and outsourcing. And hands down, the clients that have achieved the greatest levels of success with content marketing, they all have one thing in common. They've fully adopted a culture of content within their organization. But that still doesn't mean it's for everyone. Maybe you just need a content solution for a short period of time. Or maybe you don't have the budget for a full-time hire right now. That's okay. Outsourcing can be a great option. Just remember, the key is to assess your resources, budget, and goals. Think about what aligns best with your organization's vision and capabilities. Whether you choose to insource, outsource, or find a balance between the two, the goal remains the same: creating valuable, engaging, and transparent content that connects with your audience and builds trust. Now go forth and make an informed decision. Your content kingdom awaits.